Okay, already done the presentation. Realized my camera was not on. Not very happy about it. But back to it. For my final project, I decided to create a marketing campaign for the record label XO or XO Records. Man, I don't know what's going on right now. So for an overview of them, they are obviously, like I said, a record label. So they don't really sell like products. Well, they do vinyls and stuff. Big fan if you couldn't tell. Um, but they more so get their money from streams and people posting about them online. So with that being said, they're not really like something easy to do this on. But I love music and I love the weekend, so I kind of gotta represent. EXO was a record label created by The Weeknd in Toronto, Canada, where he's from. Moved to California, so he brought his record label with him for the campaign. I would do something where, since it's something you can't really buy product more, you can't really like push the idea of a product. You have to sell the stream, you have to sell the streams, you have to sell the music. I would do something where fans get to represent their music or how they express the music. So, for example, let's say a fan of the weekend, like let's say they start this like contest or let's post about it where it's like post yourself expressing how you hear the music. And a fan's like, okay, I'm going to do that. They listen to a song by the weekend and they're like, this song really makes, I really see the song as like a drawing. They draw what the song makes them feel. They post it. It gets them recognition for being a fan, for their skill set, and it gives recognition for the music. Now, there's other ways they can do that. If they feel like dancing during the song, if they feel like adding their own verse to a song, there's multiple ways they can express themselves. And this would be a good idea because everyone expresses music or takes music in differently. But it would also bring in new fans because this is like a contest. This is like a thing that brings recognition to not only streams but the fans. This is something that involves them and their own music, which is something that they love, recognition and music that they can express themselves to. For channels and duration, they could do this forever. They could do this 24/7, 365. It would lose its sparkle eventually. Personally, if it were me, I would do it like once a month, every year or something. And channels, any social media, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, or X, Facebook, anything. It doesn't matter as long as they as long as they can get it out to people. They're big enough to do whatever they wanted. They don't need this money. They don't need this recognition. They got all the recognition they need. Here's where the idea was coming from. Was the first time I heard about this story was the Hannibal story. Was Hannibal did this, a contest where fans would draw images from the story and post it, and it was like a contest, and it got the story a lot more recognition. Another one, more modern one that I was knew about was the Boogie Down contest for 2018, or the Boogie Down contest in 2018 for Fortnite. They say this wasn't for recognition, but let's just say the player count spiked up during this. But it does the same thing that the Hannibal did this contest did, and what I'm trying to portray for the XO/XO Records to do is it involved the fans to put their own talent and skill into the game. And it did. It got a lot of recognition. A lot of people participated. The main, like the guy who won, no, pretty much won, got a lot of recognition, a lot of fans, you could say. But yeah, it got the game a lot of recognition, the fans a lot of recognition, and kind of just like helped push Fortnite to what it is, which is what I mean. Like I said, EXO doesn't need to do this. They're already big enough to where they don't need anything. They could mute everyone could go deaf right now, and they'd still be millionaires till the end of time. They don't need to do this. But if they were, this would do astronomical numbers. Or Shazam is probably like two. Like I was just saying, they're well known. They don't really need to do this, but if they did, I think it'd be a fair guess to say that millions would at least see it. As far as participating, a lot less would do that because a lot of people are more, oh, I just listen to the music, or oh, I don't really want to show how I listen to it. Fair enough. I still think tens of thousands of to hundreds of thousands would at least participate. Um, they have a huge fan base dedicated. I mean, bound to have at least a lot of people know about it. Target audience. They could have a fan that's 4 years old in Washington, and they'll also have a fan that's like 6 years old in a random European country. Their demographic is literally almost anybody. I mean, he's got the most streamed song with 5 billion streams. It's like half the world. But I think for this instance, for people participating, not just viewing, but participating, it'd mainly be like 15 to 30, 35 year olds that are either dedicated fans or really just like have a song that they love by him that they want to portray how they listen to it. So they, film however they do it. I'd assume they're mostly American based, Canadian based. He's got a lot of fans in Brazil, though. I know he does. But like, while it could be younger and older than 15 and 30, I think that would be the main area. It was like USA born 15 to 30 year olds. Once again, this would be pocket change to them. But I read that it costs about $500 to $2,000 to promote something through an ad on social media. Well, they wouldn't have to do that. They could really just post on their main social media page and be like, yo, do this contest, and bam, millions are doing it. If they had to post an ad, it probably cost them about, we'll say that they're just posting on the four main social medias like TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, and then either X or Facebook, anywhere from like 2,000 to $8,000, which is once again pocket change, and then it wouldn't really do much to them. For why they'd want to work with me, the proposition, I'm not just taking into account them making money, them trying to get money and recognition. I'm taking into account the fans, the people that actually they live off the fans. That is something that I'm sure they understand. Getting fans involved, especially the dedicated diehards, the ones that were there from when the main artist started, to the ones that got him popular and stuff. You involve them, they'll feel like this is a family thing. This is like a bringing them closer, getting him more streams, bringing fans in that were either fans before or weren't, more streams, or just getting more recognition all around the world, getting him more like publicity, which would lead to more streams, which is more money in the end. And as a fan, I think this is a good idea. This will bring recognition to people all over the world that are like, I'm a The Weeknd fan, I'm an XO fan. Why not participate in this? This feels like something that gives me recognized for a skill I have. This gets me recognized for being a fan, for liking something, and this gets my artist recognition so that he has more people like me around the world. As this is going on YouTube, I may censor this part, but the way they contact me, number, email. Once again, they would never have to do this, and they've probably thought of this before. But like if they did, it would be automatically huge for them. So yeah, that's about it. Is that if they wanted to make more money that way, I feel like that would be the easiest way for them to do it. Of course, selling stuff like the vinyls would come with the atmosphere, but yeah, that's just if they wanted to. If they don't need to, they never will. But if they wanted to, that would be the easiest way, in my opinion.